Dia pulado, casa me daddy. Dia pulado, casa me daddy. Marmarinane, zonatare. Marmarinane, zonatare. Aduana kena, zonatare. Aduana kena, zona lafia. Casa Mediao, Casa Pilato, Casa Medadi, Casa Pilato, Casa Me Albarca. Hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. RTV, committed to you.
Good morning, Plateau, and welcome to Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM Jos, the program where we celebrate our people, our heritage, and the stories that define who we are. I am Munkawe London Wadak, and this morning we step away from policy and politics to explore something deeply rooted in our identity, tradition, and culture through dance. Now, across Plateau State and Nigeria at large, traditional dances are more than entertainment. They are history in motion. They are stories told without words. They are identity expressed through rhythm, costume, and movement. But in an era of modernization and digital culture, we must ask, what role do traditional dances still play in shaping our cultural identity? Are they fading rituals or living expressions of who we really are? Well, today on Good Morning Plateau, we explore how traditional dances preserve heritage, strengthen community bonds, and connect generations. And to do so, we have as topic on Good Morning Plateau for today, tradition and culture through dance. How traditional dances shape our culture, our cultural identity. And of course, you know that I am not qualified to talk about such things. I would not be doing this alone, as I have been joined in the studio by Mr. Moses Mofuil, who is the chairman of the subcommittee of the Nahwai Butura Cultural Festival 2026. He is a person who is deeply involved in organizing one of the most vibrant cultural celebrations that showcases tradition through dance. And we also hope to be joined a little later by Dr. Ezekiel Macham, who is the president of the Butura Development Association, a strong advocate of cultural preservation and community development. Mr. Moses Mofuil, you are welcome to Good Morning Plateau.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, so let's start by setting the ball rolling. Now, when we talk about traditional dance, from your perspective, talk to us about what makes traditional dance, what traditional dance is, of course, and then talk to us about what makes it an important part of our cultural identity.
Thank you. Traditional dance, in its raw form and expressing it for a purpose of the consumption of even someone who has not schooled, is a dance in a native way. The dance in the heritage, the dance that promotes the heritage of a people. Now, how it improves or helps, it is a signature of its own, because incidentally, every tribe, every dialect in its expression has a unique way of doing it. And because of that uniqueness, it defines that tribe or that dialect. So it gives it an identity. It gives it a niche, which, without even explaining, without any questioning, one gets to know that this is where this dance is from. Or it prompts the reason for people to ask. Because that uniqueness, if somebody doesn't know where it is coming from, doesn't know the background, he has to ask. And in asking, you are informed. Okay, it is from this part and it is from that part. So actually, dance gives a unique identity, and it breaks synergies of not breaking synergies. It breaks ideologies of exclusions, and then makes people know that relevance exists even in the diversities, because no culture subsumes another. And so in the expression, everybody is important, because in the expression you establish who you are, you establish where you come from, and that's very important. And I think that captures what we needed to say here.
All right, now as a follow-up, talk to us about how dance can communicate history, it can communicate values in ways that are, particularly different and unique from what books or speeches try to do, things that books and speeches are not able to convey. How is it that dance in itself it has a peculiar way of, retaining aspects of culture and, of course, communicating them?
Now, let me specifically use the Butra traditional dance to explain this. The Nahwai Cultural Festival is surrounded on two important dances, the Nahwai Tingbang and then the Kungo. And these dances are not just mere expressions of or manifestations of how muscular movements. The Nahwai Tingbang is a dance that historically was in response to certain critical events. If they went for a war and victory was won, they will do Nahwai. If they went for a game and they caught a large game, in our place there used to be lions and hyenas and so on, and if they happen to catch a lion or a hyena, it calls for Nahwai. Then there was also Nahwai when in the history of the passage of young men, when they go for circumcision, a group will often go because of the age bracket. So after they have undergone the rituals and the healing process has been confirmed, and then they are coming back home, there will be Nahwai. It's also like celebrating victory of these young men who are passing from one level of growth to another. So Nahwai is expressed. Then the other group is Kungo. The Kungo in Butra dialect is marriage. There are songs that are mainly for marriage engagements. When there is a marriage conducted or consummated between a man and a woman, Congo is celebrated. And the Congo is to express also that there is a transition in the life of these young people from being dependent. They are now, they have a new identity of being on their own. And so you express that through dance. And so you discover that the messages those dances leave are beyond written conversations. They are lasting because they impact, they take you back to history. Because when you get to understand why these dances were done, you get to know that these people came from somewhere. As a matter of fact, you appreciate the narrative of your people, what they had before. And then in the other aspect, the content of the dance itself, that it is living up to today. It is like a museum that is not physical, but is actively also getting, because young people now get to want to dance this dance, even though at times they look as if they are struggling, but that it is actually a thing of pride that we belong to this identity. I think that is very powerful and imperative. Thank you.
All right, just as a quick follow-up to that, since you have spoken to us about these two major dances, the Nahwai Kumbang and of course the
Tingbang.
Tingbang, I beg your pardon, and of course the Congo. Now, could you just break it further down for those of us who have no idea what these dances look like? Just a quick description before we move on to the next question.
Okay. Now, if you have attended the Nahwai Festival, we graphically illustrated the differentials even in the costumes that these two groups put on. Now, though the dusuk, which is the dress they put behind, which is made of skin, is the same, but at the west, the Congo group wears the blue skin, and then the Nahwai group wears the red. Now, there are signatures of the identities that convey the history. Now, when Nahwai is Nahwai is like a shout of victory. It's an expression of celebration. It is a captivating expression of pride, so to say, because when you are singing Nahwai, you are singing it with audacity, regardless, as if to say nobody exists on the face of this earth outside you, because the background in your, full at your background is the impression that we have won a victory. So that is profound. Then the message of the Congo conveys to generations now and those to come that we honor marriages, that marriages have a high regard, because in the procedure you don't do it haphazardly, such that certain songs convey acceptance, certain songs convey the celebration and the jubilation. So when you don't do it correctly, you are cutting off that. And culturally, anything that is done conveys a blessing or a curse, depending on how you treat it. So if any young person, by design or error, misses that, you will definitely know that you are missing a content of blessing, or you are incurring on yourself cost. So you will discover it is a thing of pride that I celebrate Congo. And when I celebrate it, there's an endorsement of blessing, not just by me, but by the entire community. The entire community, through those songs, convey their blessings on you to say, we appreciate you. And then we'll say, God bless you. Because some of these songs, they call on God.
All right, so let's quickly go back to the significance of these dances, especially to the people themselves. I know that you've spoken to us about what dance really is and what dance tries to convey, what it tries to communicate. Talking about what traditional dance is and its import. But then, for the Butura people, for example, now from your point of view, talk to us about what festivals like the Nahwai Butura Cultural Festival and the showcase of dance as its central element. What does it mean to the Butura people specifically? Give us examples, as it were, as you were able to talk to us about Dukungo, where, of course, marriage has to be honored as an institution, and, of course, victory has to be celebrated in order to show a heart of thanksgiving, so that it could also spur, or rather, clear the path for future victories.
Now, thank you so much. Coming from the background of my previous exposures as a tourism practitioner, the Nahwai Festival means a lot for the Butra people. Whenever we celebrate Nahwai Festival, we are not just merely bringing into memory the Nahwai and the Congo in the narrative I gave you. We are actually telling the world, beyond the boundaries of Butra, one, that there is a heritage that exists. Not just in Bokos, not just in Plateau, but in the universe. Two, we want to promote this culture. Because when you expose a product, the essence is for somebody to buy. The essence is for somebody to consume. So our essence of celebrating the cultural festival is for people outside Butra to come and see. Neighbors, tourists, travel agents, and so on. Not just in Nigeria, in Africa, and even beyond the world, because the whole world is a global, is interconnected now. So there's nothing restricting people. So our intention is for people to come and see. And in this heritage, the dance has its subsidiaries. It has the language itself, and it has the food. And these are all, and then the dress. So they are all combined to provide a content. And we want that by the expression and the celebration of this festival every year, we are improving on it daily to tell the world there is a product on the plateau. There's a product in Butura that is unique. It's young, but it is growing. It is small, but it's expanding. The essence is let people come. And let people come and see. And when they come and see, they are also telling others among the world. And the importance of that is you promote tourism. Because people want to visit places. And when people come, we have heritage sites. We have, a lot of assets that people can come and see. And it enlightens the understanding of people. And there are very wrong narratives on the plateau recently about security. And it looks as if, plateau is a no-go area. But by the time people come for Nahwai Festival and see that it is such a calm and warm place, they go about telling the other side of the story that has been suppressed to our disadvantage most of the time. So you see, that is a huge benefit also. And we will keep doing that. And, the other thing is, growing Nahwai tries to grow some small entrepreneurs, people who sell souvenirs, sell certain food items, and so on. So you are creating market. You're also attracting revenue and then making small businesses to grow. So it's so much about that.
All right, then. So now let's talk about the youth now and how they come in. Yeah. Now, a very important aspect of how we preserve culture is our ability to, not just communicate it, but have it accepted by the coming generation. Now, talk to us about how your young people respond to the performances and, paint a picture. How are they embracing, these dances, for example, and these cultural practices, or are they in essence, distancing themselves from tradition? Are they acting like some of the young people we see here in Jos, who act as if, yes, they have Plateau names and they look like Plateau people, but essentially the essence of culture is entirely lost on these young people? What's your take on that?
Beautiful. I appreciate this question. In Butra, we were privileged to have a youth wing. Sebastian Magit is the president of the youth wing. That's the youth wing of Butra Development Association. And for me, that youth wing is deliberate. And he has also understood the threatening gaps that were already, manifesting themselves in terms of how that in the dance groups there appeared youths were like wanting to stay back a little. So his coming in has instigated a fresh commitment, and with the campaign that the traditional council itself organizes and stages during stakeholder meetings, we speak about the threats that are clearly showing up on the language and on the culture itself. Threats that even, I don't know, you captured it. Do you know even the languages on the plateau, modernization is suppressing them. Mm-hmm. Some young people don't want to speak the language. And even when they speak it hiding. As if it is a shame to speak the language publicly. And to the extent, I with apology, but it doesn't intend to harm anybody. Do you know, in the north here, Hausa is almost suppressing the languages, and we prefer to speak Hausa even in our families. So in Butra, the youth association organizes what they call Youth Connect. The Youth Connect outings are meant, they take these youths to the heritage sites, show them this is where you came from, this is where our ancestors were, this is the clan locations, and they show them where they are. In fact, as a matter of fact, in the program lineup of this year's event, by tomorrow, there will be a tour guide to certain historic sites. And a lot of the participants are young people. Then in the afternoon, there will be a storytelling. We call it Utanan. And that Utanan is organized and staged at the Nawai Festival Ground, which is our heritage site. And so the aim of that program, they tell the story of the Butra people, tell small stories the way they were told in the past, tell little proverbs, and then they ask questions. Then later in the evening, there's a beauty pageant, and that, well, the name is beauty pageant, but actually the in practice of it is actually taking these children to the traditional rudiments, asking them questions about local foods, local names, locations, names of people, names of places, history, and then current affairs. And the essence is, and then how you dress. The essence is to connect them properly. And certain gifts will be given. The essence is also to attract and then sustain. So the young people are responding. On the whole, that's the background of all that I'm trying to say. They are responding with enthusiasm. As at last edition, you can imagine there's this soup they make in our Vashmaluman. They use hand to roll it inside a calabash. These young ladies were actively involved in it. And in this edition of the beauty pageant, that event is going to happen also. And then they will do the biba, which is the local beans mixed with seed, with palm oil, and so on, or with the powder of acha. And these are all, so many young people will come. In the process, you are arousing interest, and then you are also raising the alarm that this disconnect must be reconnected back. So I give that kudos to the youth president, and I dare to tell you that it's gaining weight, it's gaining acceptance. And by that, I'm assuring that I'm confident that Butra Traditional Council and the Buddha are carrying these youths along, and they are not disappointed at all.
All right, let's go back to traditional dances. Now, traditional dances often carry symbolism like you rightly hinted at earlier on, talking about the costume and the colors. Of course, rhythm is also an aspect, and generally choreography itself. Now, could you explain how these elements coming together reflect community beliefs and leadership structures or social values that have been with the people for as long as the people have been, autochthonous to the area? Talk to us about what these symbols stand for, just to get us educated and to better appreciate the culture.
Now, well, this is very technical, and I hope my expressions will be able to capture it because they are delicate as they sound. Now, the Butra dance has a unique way. The body movements are mainly, for the men, is the shoulder, and the shoulder is vigorously shaken, and then it enables the dusuk, which is the skin that is placed on the shoulders to shake, and that gives it a good blend. Then the women check the waist, and that's why they also tie the wizen at the back. And then, so when you discover that the blending of the two gives like an up and down, but again a vertical synergy, because and then it encapsulates a very good outcome that doesn't show differentials at all, and that silently gives the people the satisfaction that the end result of every dance that we do is to drive home peace, to drive home acceptance, that we are one people, to drive home joy that joins us. So in it, you will discover that the dance sells happiness, it sells unity, it sells peace. And so I say this wherever I find opportunity to say, and without fear of any contradiction, that the Butra people are the happiest people on the plateau. They are harmless, they are hardworking, and they are industrious. And when you see in their dance, they dance smiling, they dance, so that shows acceptance for even the guests, and then the unity between them and among each other. That to us is very instructive, and it keeps making us say, oh, we are one people.
Beautiful. Now, real quick, we're approaching our break. So could you just quickly talk to us about, you've spoken about at length, of course, about Nahuay, Tingbang, and the Kungo dances, which are, of course, celebrations of victory and, of course, honoring marriage as an institution. Now, do the Butura people also have dances that are reserved for specific occasions such as harvest, marriage? Of course, we've spoken about marriage, initiation, or... Okay, you spoke about initiation too, the rites of passage. Yeah. Could you talk to us about other occasions such as harvest, conflict resolution, and what have you?
Okay, there the thin there's a thin line actually, because in terms of issues of other celebrations and difficult moments like conflicts and so on, we simply integrate these dances. It is like you using what you already have. We don't have any specific, but there's a the ndurette. The ndurette, it's a flute, and it packages solemn rendition. It is not. It's neither Congo nor Nahwai. So it matches those aspects of other celebrations, and it is done once in a while. Conflict resolutions, I cannot. There are difficult moments. We are not expected to dance when there is moment of conflict resolution. So actually, I can't be categorical about that. You understand? But moments of celebration, harvest, both of them can be invited.
All right. Okay, listener, that is the point at which we shall take a breather and go on a break, and you can reason along these lines with us. And when we return, we shall be opening the phone line for you to contribute. Remember, we also have a Facebook page where you can drop your comments about what is being talked about today on Good Morning Plateau, the episode for Thursday, the 19th day of February, 2026. Don't go away. Good Morning Plateau returns shortly. Welcome back. This is Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM, the episode for Thursday, the 19th day of February 2026. And I am Munkuwe London Wadak, your host on the program today. And we've been discussing tradition and culture through dance, how traditional dances shape our cultural identity. And still with me in the studio is Mr. Moses Mofuil, who is the chairman of the subcommittee of National Cultural Festival 2026. Now, it is time for us to hear from you, the listener. But before you call, please let's observe the rules of engagement. We need you to tell us your name and where you're calling from. Keep your contribution brief and respectful, and avoid abusive or offensive language. And please make your contribution terse, one contribution per contributor. The phone line is open, and the number to dial is 0812 588 6048. That number again is 0812 588 6048. Now, we would like to know what traditional dance is defined, what kind of traditional dance defines your community, and we would really also want to know if your young people believe in doing enough, or investing themselves in preserving the cultural heritage in your area. So let's hear you. Hello, good morning. Hello. Lapia, hello, good morning. May we know your name and where you're calling from? Na Allah, could you please turn down the volume of your radio set? Na Allah, we're getting feedback from your radio. Could you turn it off or move away from it?
Hello?
All right, Na Allah, go ahead.
My name is Naala from Samnaka, Lere local government.
All right, go right ahead.
Okay, my contribution is cultural dance is very good. Cultural dance is very good from everybody because you can dance, your cultural dance, you can elbow, sitting, and the people they watch, they everything. So this is my contribution.
All right, Naala, thank you very much for that contribution. Indeed, traditional dances are very important as they showcase and preserve our culture. Right, that's been noted, and the guest will respond to your contribution when we have a good number of these responses. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bunko London Water.
Good morning, Mr. Gorzo Kwabdi.
Good morning, Mr. Moses Mafwe in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
Gorzo Kwapti Kwapul calling from Panshin.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Bunko. The guest has spoken very well about the traditional dance. And every tribe has a unique way of dancing. We need to preserve our traditional dance because our traditional dancer is our heritage and our identity. And if you don't know where you are coming from, then you will not know where you are going to. We should use our traditional dance to promote peace and harmony. I'm appealing to other tribal groups to emulate from the people of Butara Development Association. Our parents should try to teach their children their traditional dance and their mother tongue. But some parents prefer to teach their children the Western dance, which is very worrisome. We need to know about the history, about the past, the present, and the future. Because you don't know your past, you will not know about your future. And the importance of traditional dance cannot be overemphasized. And some parents do not want to teach, you don't want their children to marry from other tribes, which they need to change their mindset. We need to showcase our cultural heritage because our culture is our way of life. The food we eat, the dress we wear, and the traditional dance. The people of Butara should use their traditional dance to tackle the issue of insecurity that is affecting the people of local government. The people of Butara are very hospitable and accommodating people. They used to be carried along in the Butara traditional dance. Our parents should change their mindset by teaching their children English or Hausa language. But my question to Mr. Moses Mafwe is that I want to know where is the people of Butara migrated. I want you to clarify me on that. That is my own opinion, Mr. Munkwe and Mr. Moses Mafwe in the studio. Have a wonderful day and God bless you.
Thank you very much, our regular contributor and listener on the program, Gorzo Kwabdi from Bangshin, for calling in and for sharing those thoughts. Indeed, history is something that could greatly be conveyed through dance. Excellently so. And of course, your question has been noted. You want to know where the Butara migrated from to their present place. You will definitely get an answer when we have a good number of such contributions from the listener. Right, the phone line is free and you can dial 0812-588-6048 to be a part of the show. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. You're on to Peace 90.5's Good Morning
Good
Plateau.
morning.
May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Well, I'm not getting you well, but I hope you guys are getting me.
Yes, we can hear you. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, this Saxon. You have been all calling all the way from Panshin.
All right, you're on. Go right ahead.
The guest has spoke well, and in fact, as we made mention of the traditional dance culture and what of you. Of course, some of the traditional dance are fading because you go to some cultural dance and some festivals, some of the festivals, you hardly see some olden modern dance. They have just modernized it to the modern one of nowadays. He made mention of some cultural dance that, in fact, it motivates me. So I am so glad about it. But just as my brother have made asking a question about where they migrate from, one of the dance he said that it brings some, when they go to the house, they do that dance eventually, maybe when they kill some big animals in the bush or lions or whatsoever, they bring the dance. Yes, in those days, there are so many things of that nature that used to occur. But nowadays, you hardly see it, only during this festival. And I don't know, the children of nowadays may hardly don't know how to do that dance. Have they been introducing the younger ones to the dance? That's my question one. And the second one is, he made mention of holding dance. In fact, just as their elder brothers from the Mopus, they have one cultural dance that we do call it Bwene. And that dance do happen when the festival, not purposely for the festival, it's just for the, they call it, when they have this, what do they call it? The male child have been going for the
circumcision.
Call it one.
Yes.
I know, this language. Some of the English you hardly get this kind of a thing. But in fact, I was so excited because we met a lot of something about the cultural dance. But I don't know if you will this your festival, you introduce, you call some nearby people to bring their all this dance to it so that the children should know about the cultural dance too. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much for those contributions. Indeed, it will be interesting to know, of course, how they are carrying their youth along, especially as we were hoping that we could tell if our young people are believing and doing enough to preserve cultural heritage. Definitely they're the ones that will be preserving it and carrying it along for their children also. And it's interesting to know that you believe strongly that borrowed customs are eroding our culture. So, our communities are no longer being identified by their dances. And we need to do something about it. Thank God that we're still alive and we're thinking along those lines. So please, let's do a cultural reawakening in our communities, if we will. And many thanks. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. You're on to Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Thank you. My name is I am Mindy.
Sorry?
I am Mindy.
Mindy. All right. Could you please turn down the volume of your radio set?
Okay. I'm coming from Gindri Theological Seminary, Gindri.
All right. How is Gindri this morning?
Gindri is fine.
All right. Go ahead.
So I want to ask, is it good to take our traditional dancing into the place of worship?
Okay, your question has been noted. And then, of course, we would be interested, before we let you go, we'd be interested to know what kind of dance, identifies or defines your community in Gindri.
Okay, like dance, piano, and the other tribes. Hello?
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, like maybe this in terms of maybe circumcision.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go for some circumcision, then they come back, then our people used to dance. Is it good for us now to use that type of dancing in the church?
Okay, we have noted your question and keep listening as our guest will have an opportunity to respond.
Okay.
Right. We still have a little bit more time. Let's take at least one more call and then we'll allow our guest to respond to what we've got so far. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you're on to Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Menkwe. My name is Isaac Ite, the radio speaker from Jos East.
All right, radio speaker, welcome back to Good Morning Plateau. Please go right ahead.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I have listened to the conversation with keen interest, and I like the way the guest has dished out some facts on culture. I want to commend the Butura people for keeping culture alive, because it is always said that culture is a way of life. Culture, if you don't know where you're coming from, you wouldn't know where you're going to. And so culture is very, very key in preserving our heritage, particularly the traditional dance. You know, I'm an Afizere, and we have a lot of traditional dances to showcase, particularly the Asharua dancers that have gone places, even beyond the shores of Nigeria, to display. we have various type of dances that have been relegated to the background, of which is rather unfortunate. Our youth that are coming up in the next 50 years, I don't know how our youth will be. They wouldn't know some of these dances to take the dance steps. It's a problem. So we have a lot of them. Like we used to have this circumcision, during circumcision rite, we have what we call the hijab in my own dialect, my own culture. And the youth of nowadays, those who are born 80s down, they don't know something about it. We have a lot of them. So we need to preserve our culture through traditional dance. And, Western culture has infiltrated into our own culture, and it has become a threat. Instead of our youth to, the present day people should learn to teach the younger ones how to dance. It's unfortunate.
Oh dear, it will appear that the network cut that call, and seeing as it's already 9:45, let's just leave it at that and allow our guests respond to the comments that we've got so far. So please, if you will, please respond to those calls, sir. All right. Well, the very first caller talked about, the culture being an excellent culture being excellently preserved through dance. He spoke at length about that, and he, encouraged the Nahwai festival. And Gorzo, who called in from Pangshin, also spoke about, how great it is that history is being conveyed through dance. And he asked a question where the Butura people migrated from. Then we had the other caller from Pangshin, who also talked about culture being eroded by borrowed customs, and being interested in knowing how the Butura people are able to preserve their culture and, of course, preserve the elements of it through dance. And he also spoke about how the young people, of course, will be adequately carried along, in the preservation and the activities that have to do with culture. Then the caller from Gindiri also wanted to know if it was a good thing for cultural dances to be, introduced into worship. And by that, I am suspecting, since he said he was calling from the theological college, he must be talking about bringing cultural dances into the church. Then, of course, we had Isaac Isse, who was our last caller, and he spoke about the need for us to preserve culture through dance. So please respond to these then.
Yeah, first I appreciate the comments and the commendations of our listeners. First, truly every attempt on cultural restoration is a battle, and it's an ongoing project because the threats are many, but determination will make it work. Now, where Butra come from, he almost gave us a hint, but the history generally covers that we migrated. There are two versions actually. Gobir, are you understanding? And then came and settled at Lankang, and then from Fair, and then move then to Butra. You understand? So if that gives a line, I think it is that's what we work with. The most important thing is we are in Butra, and God is helping us to preserve the identity that we have. Now, through how I attempted to say how we are struggling but determined to ensure that our heritage is preserved. We are lucky to some extent because we have our ancestral home, which is the Butrawur, and it is there undisturbed. So we have deliberately taken the annual celebration of the Nahwai festival there, and we are growing a cultural village around that festival site. But the cultural village means a restoration of the heritage. We are trying to preserve it. In fact, as a matter of fact, a gatehouse has been built for that place. So it will have a lot of other things. There will be a theater where storytellings, there may be chalets of, and accommodations for tourists when they come. And then we'll build event centers. And then the Taj, which is a UNESCO heritage site, is also very important. And the Long Footbridge, they are all there. And so we're hoping that the Nahua itself will serve as a rallying point to growing that content. And since the young people are already interested, it means also that getting them involved in the dance will not be a big problem. The acceptance is already there because the structure that is coming from the youth wing is also very powerful. So that to us is a positive development. So any group, any culture that wants to sustain that, because whether we like it or not, all over Plateau, all over Nigeria, cultures are being threatened. So there should be that inclusiveness in the arrangements of restoration. Include the youths, and it is going to involve a lot of incentives also. Like on the Plateau, youths prefer to go for tin mining than going to do traditional dance. Because at the end of the day, tin mining gives them some money, which they and so if you ask them to go and do traditional dance and at the end of the day you don't give them anything, they prefer to go. So we must make sure we give them incentive so that they will see that they are appreciated and so on, and then the blending will be there. Now, the person that talked about tradition and church, that is very, very serious. But again, in Butra, there's one thing that stands out for us. Reason being that when the gospel came, it was embraced fully, to the extent that we don't have these extreme traditions of masquerade and the rest of them. So, but that culture is the language we speak. Culture is the food that we eat. Culture is the dress that we wear. And so when you are born again or you are a Christian, you don't throw away this. And I think that to me is what we are trying to preserve. And when in the course of preserving it, that is the language you also have to even express to God. There won't be any problem when you sing a traditional song in the church. Because it is you and it is gratitude you are saying, you are expressing to God. So it doesn't create any problem. But that celebrating cases or issues like rite of passage for circumcision and so on, and it should be taken to church, I don't even know where that takes place again. Because most times now when children are born, right in the hospital, they are circumcised. There's no waiting for any age grade again. But all that we're doing is just taking these children memory lane for them to understand what used to happen. And then to give credence to our forefathers, what they were able to preserve. You may not restore all these things together now. You cannot be telling parents, leave your children, and then you take them to shrines for circumcision before they come. No, there are a lot of exceptions we'll be pushing away. But again, our identity, our heritage, which is celebrated in the food, in the dance, in the clothes, that is what we should carry. And when we carry it to God, He will embrace us also. Are you understanding? Then finally, the other person was speaking about what now? It has gone off my memory. But I think he was just expressing concern about still threats to the cultures and youthful manipulations by modernization and so on. It's common. The Israeli people have really gone far in terms of their global impact. We know that even on the plateau. And a lot of times they serve as inspiration to those of us that are coming behind. Are you understanding? So it is, let them sustain what they have already established. But as he is talking, there are also threats there. Because he's saying if after 50 years, it means they are also seeing signals of extinction. Are you understanding? And some of these extinction challenges are intentionally calculated. You understand? Just like based on our social values and norms. Suddenly you hear the fact that man and woman, there should be an intermediary again. Those are threats. And so it is the same thing threatening the identity of people, so that you don't trace where you are coming from. We should insist about it. And insisting is urgent as it is necessary.
Right, now, real quick, of course, the Nahuai Cultural Festival is coming up this weekend. So please talk to our listener about it. Give us the information, as it were. And if you will, please invite us to the event.
Why not? Well, Nahuai is here. And I want to count my being here as a very important privilege. And therefore, on behalf of the Butra Traditional Council, headed by Dr. Engineer Gabriel Malo Makwal, our monarch, and all his traditional council, and then Dr. Ezekiel Macham, who is the Buddha president. We invite all of you. Let Plateau stay close. Let every road lead to Butra. Butra is a district in Bokos local government. And I tell you, the weather there is better than the one in the capital city. When you come there, you almost feel like ice is falling. Come there and celebrate with us on Saturday. There will be delicacies of Bibal and then of all sorts, and then the dance itself that we will showcase. We welcome you so warmly, and we pray God brings everyone there safely. We invite this PRTV house. We invite you to come. Thank you so much, very much.
Now, in rounding off, seeing as our time is almost up, please, in today's world, of course, of globalization and modern entertainment, from your own point of view, what steps should communities begin to take to preserve traditional dances for future generations? And then, most importantly, how do schools, cultural associations, and other festivals collaborate to keep these traditions vibrant and relevant?
It has to be an intentional thing. And intentionality is not done in isolation. There has to be an inclusive plan between the traditional council, between the youths, between all agencies within every community. Because, like we said, it's a warfare. Just like in contemporary warfare, a sellout can come from inside. Even in the traditional and cultural warfare, the same thing is like that. When people from inside begin to show lack of interest, they will be the same people that will water down whatever narrative is being given for restoration. So the crusade has to be there. Keep talking. Keep emphasizing. Don't be tired, because a lot of traditional institutions get frustrated as a result of what they hear and what they get, and then the careless reactions from young people. But you must insist on doing so. And then develop certain curriculum or curricula that are specific to that. In our place, the language writing is even, in process, in the fireworks. Certain vernacular, ABC, and the storytelling and so on, even the Bible, they are trying to communicate them in the dialect. And in that, you arouse the interest of people. Tell them that look, we can communicate. It was before. Some of us had that touch of ill information. It was as if when you speak your language, you are not a modern person. In fact, we went with that mentality. Do you know, in the cities, our children don't know the language. We were speaking English. I tell you, it pains us today that see Chinese coming to Nigeria, they don't even speak English. But are they not mining our resources?
Certainly they
are. They not gathering wealth away? So it is about us knowing that with our language, we can be intelligent, we can be creative, we can be resourceful. And there are people who don't know modern things in the normal grammar, but they are highly skillful traditionally. Those are the things that we should encourage, and by that, I tell you, we will have restoration speedily, more speedily than we ever thought.
Many thanks, Mr. Moses Mofil, for sharing your insights and passion for culture with us this morning.
Thank you, sir.
We wish you success, glowing success as it were, in the forthcoming Nahui 2026 Cultural Festival.
Thank you so much.
Right, and Good Morning Plateau is proudly brought to you by the hardworking team at Peace 90.5, coordinated by our executive producer, Rita Kacholompam, our supervising producers, Hudung Gyang and Esther Nasara, and not forgetting our producers here in the studio, Inga Samuel and Titus Datas.